Thank you, Michael Nath. I am Perpetua Fasami Peter. Pandemonium ensued on Wednesday as fire gutted shops under the Akpongbo section of the Eko Bridge in Lagos State. The fire incident caused gridlock and crippled commercial activities around the Lagos Island area of the state. Though the cause of the fire incident could not be ascertained at the time of filing this report, it was learnt that goods worth millions of naira were destroyed by the inferno. Director of Lagos State Fire and Rescue Service, Adeshaya Margaret, described the nature of the fire as disastrous. The intensity of the fire has badly affected the Eko Bridge, truncating movement along that corridor. The Director of Lagos State Fire confirmed there was no reported case of injury or death. The House of Representatives is considering reporting Justice Evelyn Anyadike of a federal high court sitting in Umuahia, Abia State, to the National Judicial Council for nullifying the provisions of Section 84, subsection 12 of the Electoral Act 2022. Justice Anyadike's nullification thereby empowers the Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, to delete the section from the Act. The House also resolved to appeal the judgment and have it upturned. The lawmakers also asked Malami to allow the National Assembly to exercise its right to appeal the case. Several members of the House at the plenary on Wednesday criticized the judiciary and executive of usurping the powers of the legislature, stating that only the parliament and not a presidential appointee can amend the law. The Speaker of the House, Femi Gbajabiamila, said he got to know about the case on the media. He said he discovered that the chamber was not served any notice since it was not a party to the suit. Gbajabiamila said the President, Muhammadu Buhari, was rightly advised to approach the National Assembly for amendment of the Act. Leaders and stakeholders in the southwest zone of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, have insisted that the next president of Nigeria must come from the south. The leader stated this on Tuesday after the closed-door meeting held at the Government House, Agodi, Ibadan, the Oyo State capital. Within the 7-point communique, the National Vice Chairman West of the party, Soji Adagunodo, said the region was throwing its weight behind the southern governors.
We, the PDP in the Southwest, believe in the corporate existence and unity of Nigeria. The unity of Southwest is a non-negotiable issue. To this end, we demand that all dispute resolution mechanisms should be on the front burner. The Southwest Zone is in support of the Southern Governors Forum that the next president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria should come from the south.
That has always been the case until 2011, when because of infighting, because of disunity, Southwest did not have one single position out of those 6 nationally. So who took the position that was meant for the Southwest at that particular time?
In the wisdom of the Southern governors, they believed that the presidency should come to the South. Now, this meeting has endorsed that. We've also endorsed that Nigeria needs peace and we cannot stop at anything to ensure peace for our country.
The leadership of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has nominated 3 governors, Samuel Ortom of Benue, Darius Ishaku of Taraba, and Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi of Enugu, as members of its 37-member committee to determine the zoning of the party's 2023 presidential ticket. The decision to set up the committee was taken at the party's National Executive Committee NEC meeting on March 16, 2022. The committee will also work out modalities for the sharing of positions of Senate President, Speaker of House of Representatives, Secretary to the Government of the Federation, and other leadership positions in the 2 chambers of the National Assembly among the 6 geopolitical zones. Justice Inyang Ekwo of the Federal High Court, Abuja Division, has adjourned the extradition suit of Abba Kyari, the suspended Deputy Commissioner of Police. The judge adjourned the matter on Wednesday as a result of the failure of the Attorney General of the Federation to serve the processes on parties in the suit. Recall that the federal government, through the office of the AGF, had filed the application under the Extradition Act following their acceptance to honor a request by the United States. Kyari is to stand trial before the U.S. District Court for the Central District of California, USA, on a 3-count charge bordering on conspiracy to commit wire fraud, money laundering, and identity theft. In August 2021, the Nigerian police force suspended DCP Abba Kyari after he was indicted by the FBI on the $1.1 million fraud linked to Hush Puppy. Women groups protesting against the rejection of the gender bills by the National Assembly have suspended their protest for the next 7 days. This was after the House of Representatives promised to review and revisit the bills. The leadership of the House of Representatives on Tuesday met with protesting women who gathered at the National Assembly premises to protest the rejection of the gender-related bills in the ongoing constitution review process. The leadership delegation was led by the Majority Leader Al-Hassan Ado-Doguwa, who was accompanied by the Deputy Majority Leader Peter Akpatoson, Deputy Whip Nkiruka Onyejocha, and Deputy Minority Leader Toby Okechukwu, who, amongst others. The Majority Leader assured them that the House is working on their demands and appealed that the House would within 9 working days conclude work on the matter. The Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, has expressed disapproval over the payment of an amputated salary to its members at Kano University of Science and Technology, WUDO. In a statement issued by Mohammed Sanigaya and Muritala Mohammed, both Chairman and Secretary of the Union, Kano State University of Science and Technology, WUDO, they stated that the amputated salary was recorded in the month of February 2022. They explained that they were rightly informed by the university administration that the amputated salary was predicated by the state government's removal of the consequential adjustment from the university salary for the said month. The union described the payment as illegal, unacceptable, and condemnable in all ramifications, even as they charged the payment must be discontinued henceforth. The statement urged the state government to endeavor to continue to win the goodwill of the workers by coming up with popular policies in order to leave a good legacy. They also charged the state government to immediately refund what was deducted from the university salary for the said month. The Federal Road Safety Corps Lagos Sector Command has reiterated that its mandate is to reduce fatal road accidents by 15%. Sector Commander Lagos State Corps Commander Olusegun Ogungbemide said this during an exclusive interview with iBrandTV in Lagos State. The House of Representatives has mandated its Committee on Land Transport to investigate the extent to which the variation to accommodate the perimeter fencing of the rail lines was carried out and report back within 4 weeks for further legislative action. It also urged the federal government to increase the number of security personnel stationed along the Abuja-Kaduna railway line, as well as increase surveillance and intelligence gathering in the surrounding areas. These resolutions follow the adoption of a motion on the need to investigate the perimeter fencing of the Abuja-Kaduna rail lines moved by Honorable Zakaria Dauda Nyampa during plenary session presided by the Deputy Speaker of the House, Honorable Ahmed Idris Wase. Nyampa noted that railway is one of the oldest, most efficient means of transporting passengers and cargoes across the world. He explained that railways in Nigeria have for many decades suffered severe neglect, but the rail project recently embarked upon by the federal government would contribute significantly to easing the movement of persons and goods across the country. The Energy Commission of Nigeria, ECN, the Federal Ministry of Environment, and the British High Commission, Abuja, have jointly launched an updated version of the Nigeria Energy Calculator 2050, NECL 2050, a bespoke energy and emissions model to assist Nigeria in achieving its climate goals. A statement by the British Deputy High Commission said the present version of NECL 2050 calculator, a tool that allows users to trial different options for reducing emissions at a faster rate and to build a pathway that meets long-term emission targets to 2050, is designed to help industries and the energy sector to set their greenhouse gas emission reduction targets, as well as to identify realistic solutions which supports the implementation of Nigeria's climate commitment, also known as Nationally Determined Contributions, NDCs. Speaking at the event, the Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation, Dr. Ogbonnaya Onu, said it is an energy planning tool that enables choices in energy development pathway to be examined along with its environmental consequences. The United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, says it is supporting Katsina state government to strengthen its social protection system. Ramatu Aliyu, nutrition specialist, UNICEF, Kano Field Office, made this known to newsmen in Duse on Wednesday. She said that the intervention included facilitating visits by government officials to some states to understudy what they were doing in those areas. Aliyu said a team of officials from Katsina were in Jigawa to ensure better understanding of the medium-term expenditure framework, MTEF, and social protecting initiatives in the state. She added that the participants would be exposed to the basic MTEF conceptual framework and progress and challenges in its implementation in the state. And now we're going to commercial break. When we return, we have more stories for you. Stay with us.
Most people don't understand the magic of the perfect skin, the allure of a well-pampered skin. We bounce from skincare products to skincare products, from spa to spa. Looking for that ideal solution. I found the solution. And it's Blemiville Skincare and Spa. My name is Neil, and I'm proud to be a part of the Blemiville family.
Dry Cleaners Limited, professional dry cleaners, best in dry cleaning and laundry services that meets the needs of our consumers. Yeah, Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Yeah, for clean wash and quick delivery. Yeah. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. For clean wash and quick delivery. Ooh.
Swift Dry Cleaners. Clean wash, quick delivery.
Welcome back from the African scene. In Cuba, filling up with petrol has been a nightmare for the past few days, largely because of low production in Venezuela, the supplier. Under a blazing sun in front of the Malecon, Havana's famous waterfront, dozens of cars queue in a disciplined line that goes twice around the block around the gas station. The Moskvich brands predominate, as do motorbikes with sidecars inherited from the Soviet era, whose drivers push them to save what little fuel they have left. And on the foreign scene, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky described peace negotiations with Russia as very difficult in a video message released early Wednesday. Zelensky said, adding that Ukrainian representatives were negotiating every day. He added, and I quote, "They're very difficult, sometimes scandalous, but we are moving forward step by step. We will work, we'll fight as much as possible, until the end, brave and open." Zelensky thanked the international community for supporting his country. He hoped that 3 summits planned for this week by the G7, NATO and the EU will lead to additional support. Zelensky expects new sanctions against Russia and new aid for Ukraine. Both Ukraine and Russia claimed successes on the battlefield on Tuesday. Russian President Vladimir Putin plans to attend the next G20 summit in Indonesia later this year and received valuable backing from Beijing on Wednesday in a pushback to suggestions by some members that Russia could be barred from the group. The United States and its Western allies are assessing whether Russia should remain within the group of 20 major economies following its invasion of Ukraine. But any move to exclude Russia would probably be vetoed by others in the group, raising the prospect of some countries instead skipping G20 meetings, the sources said. Russia's ambassador to Indonesia, which currently holds the rotating G20 chair, said Putin intended to travel to the Indonesian resort island of Bali for the G20 summit in November. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky urged Japan on Wednesday to ramp up pressure on Russia with a trade embargo, making an unprecedented direct appeal to parliament that invoked the two nations' shared experience of nuclear disaster. Speaking to lawmakers by video link in a gesture never previously accorded to a foreign leader, Zelensky thanked Japan for leading the way among Asian nations in condemning Russia's invasion of Ukraine and launching sanctions. The address was covered live by almost all commercial broadcasters, highlighting the rare interest in the war in a country where domestic issues usually dominate headlines. Later, Prime Minister Fumio Kishida said he planned to unveil more support measures for Ukraine and strengthen Tokyo's sanctions against Russia at a G7 meeting in Brussels. Meanwhile, Russia's defense minister on Wednesday said Russian forces had hit a Ukrainian army depot outside the country's northwestern city of Rhine on Tuesday, destroying an arsenal of weapons and equipment. The ministry said it had struck the depot using high-precision, long-range weapons fired from the sea. And that's all on this segment. I am Perpetua Fasamipita, and now it's back to Michael now.
Most people don't understand the magic of the perfect skin, the allure of a well-pampered skin. We bounce from skincare products to skincare products, from spa to spa. Looking for that ideal solution. I found the solution. And it's Blemiville Skincare and Spa. My name is Neil, and I'm proud to be a part of the Blemiville family.
Thanks, Perpetua. Now it's time for entertainment business.
Hello and welcome to Entertainment Business. I am Michelle Abanum. Multiple award-winning Afrofusion star Burna Boy took to Paris by storm as he sold out the 20,300 capacity Accor Arena in Paris, France, becoming the first Nigerian to sell out the venue twice in their career. As part of the Space Drift tour, the Paris show was the African giant's fourth concert of 2022, as he previously performed to sold-out crowds in Dublin, Geneva, and Manchester. With upcoming concerts at the Afro Nation, Puerto Rico on the 24th of March, Penchanga Resort and Casino on the 26th of March, and ultimately the Madison Square Garden, New York on the 28th of March, Burna Boy is cementing his position as Africa's most sought-after and talented performer. He also performed in a sold-out concert show in Ireland recently. Moving on, global recorded music revenues rose 18.5% last year, driven by an increase in listeners tuning into paid subscription streaming, marking the market's seventh consecutive year of growth to a record $25.9 billion, according to a report released on Tuesday. Meanwhile, a recovery in physical retail following COVID-19 lockdown allowed physical music formats to enjoy growth for the first time in 20 years, IFPI, a trade body for the recorded music industry, said in its global music report. Paid subscription streaming revenues rose 21.9% to $12.3 billion, the IFPI said, adding there were 523 million users of paid subscription accounts at the end of the year. Overall, streaming accounted for 65% of total revenues. Physical format revenues rose 16.1% to $5 billion. Around the world, record companies are engaging at a very local level to support music cultures and bring on the development of emerging music ecosystems, championing local music and creating the opportunities for it to reach a global audience, IFPI Chief Executive Francis Moore said. And that's it on Entertainment Business. I am Michelle Abanum.
Up next is sport business.
Anta Sports, the Nike of China, posted growth across all its business operations in 2021 in the company's latest earnings report. The Chinese sportswear company generated $7.7 billion in revenue in fiscal year 2021, a 39% increase compared to the financial year prior, thanks to strong results in its Anta and Fila segments. In fiscal year 2021, the company's Anta segment posted $3.7 billion in revenue, up 52% year over year. Its Fila segment generated $3.4 billion in revenue in 2021, a 25% uptick compared to 2020. All other Anta Sports brands posted revenue of $548 million in fiscal year 2021, up 51% year over year. Shares of the company were up more than 5% on Tuesday following the report. Anta is gaining momentum in its home country, while brands like Adidas and Nike have taken a hit in the world's largest fashion market. Anta has benefited from a partial boycott of Western brands in China after some raised questions about forced labor in the country's Xinjiang region. And still talking sports business at this hour, British tennis star Emma Raducanu has been named as a brand ambassador of German automobile manufacturer Porsche. Fitness permitting, the deal ensures Raducanu will enter the WTA Tour's Porsche Tennis Grand Prix event held at the Porsche Arena in Stuttgart for the first time, as well as securing the 19-year-old's presence in marketing campaigns for the automaker. The latest deal sees Raducanu add to a partnership portfolio which already includes Nike, British Airways, and Evian. Additionally, Vodafone recently signed Raducanu to a deal reportedly worth £3 million a year. She also earns around £2 million from each of her respective endorsement deals with French fashion label Dior and US jewelry brand Tiffany's. And finally, on sports business at this hour, cryptocurrency exchange platform FTX has named Naomi Osaka as a global ambassador in a partnership that also sees the tennis star handed an equity stake in the company and some payments made in digital currency. With the agreements kicking in for the ongoing 2022 Miami Open, the deal sees FTX gain branding on Osaka's playing apparel during tournaments. The 24-year-old will also be active in directing and producing branded content. The contract is described as long-term and includes purpose-driven elements centered on attracting more female users to FTX platform. FTX will also donate to Osaka's Play Academy charity initiative launched in partnership with Nike and L'Oreal. And that's it on Sports Business. I'm Samson Oleide.
And with sport, it's a wrap on Business Now. You're on iBrandTV Lagos. Thanks for watching. I'm Michael Nath.